Uh, we're going to recall how to factor quadratics, some trinomials, and then we're going to do one more step and we're going to solve it. Yeah, so if you can do everything in this warm-up problem, then you are going to be in awesome shape, right? We're going to add 12. We're going to divide, so x is 6. Pretty easy, right? You're going to subtract the 9. You can divide by negative 3. X is 3. Not too bad, right? Last thing we have to do is factor. So what factors of 6 add up to 5? Is that 1 and 6, or is it 2 and 3? Which ones add up? It's 2 and 3. Remember, 6 is one of those numbers that completely scare me. 6 and 30, right? 6 and 30. So here's what we got. Now, we have a lot of factoring to work through today, so I'm going to try and take my time. But if I do anything that's too fast, just pause it at any time. So we're going to work with our heavier problems where we have an a value other than 1. So what we're going to do is I'm looking at the number 18. I want the factors of 18 that add up to 11. So that's 2 and 9. And we know the signs are both going to be positive. So we're going to factor by grouping 3x squared plus 2x plus 9x plus 6. We can group the first two. All I can take out is an x, so 3x plus 2. Remember, skip a little space. I need 3x plus 2. And now my GCF, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I have x plus 3, and I have 3x plus 2. Now, in the last chapter, that was the answer. There's this and then, right? And then I need you to solve these. These are going to give you those x-intercepts we just talked about in the last video. So we're going to go ahead and finish by subtracting 3. So x equals negative 3. And if I subtract 2, I then have 3x equals negative 2. So we're going to have negative 2 divided by 3. Those become the two solutions that we need because it's quadratic. And also, those are the x-intercepts. Pretty wicked, right? Yeah. So other things, just a quick review. Remember, this has to go through 0, 6. And as a graph, it has to open up. And it should be more narrow. So kind of putting all the stuff back together. Right, so again, today, these are meant to be challenging. Right? So we're going to deal with the number is 70. What factors of 70 add up to give me negative 19? So some things I know is both signs have to be negative. All right. Negative 14 and negative 5 make up the two numbers we need. Remember, we're just working through all the factors, whatever we can do. Starting point was maybe 7 times 10. So I'm going to work with doubling and halving. So if I take half of 10 and I double 7, well, there I have it, 5 and 14. They add up to 19. So start off at any point you want. Work with that doubling and halving like we had talked about what feels like forever ago, but really was just last month on factoring these things out. So 10, I'm going to go to x's. X squared minus 14x minus 5x plus 7, it equals 0. So GCF of the first two happens to be 2 and an x. So I need 5x minus 7. I need to get 5x minus 7. There it is. All right, sign changer. So this is negative 1 is my GCF. Alright, I'm going to leave a little space between my binomials because I know these have to be set equal to 0 so we can solve them out. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to add the 1, so 2x equals 1 and x equals 1/2 when I divide by 2. We're going to add 7, so 5x equals 7 and divide by 5. And I might just circle my answer this way, 7/5. So this is two answers. So all the factoring we did in the last chapter was really to get you ready for this. So if you were super duper at that, this will be super duper easy. If you struggled with it, we're going to have to make sure we get all these little details straightened out so you can be successful, not only here, but in Algebra 2. Alright, truth be told, we start to mess with you a little bit. Notice it has an equal sign, it's equal to 20. Just subtract it over. So 6x squared plus 7x minus 20. That's where we're at. Alright, it's no big deal. Just put it in standard form, equal to 0, whichever way you want to call it. Alright, here we go. Arch it over. We're dealing with negative 120. That's the number we want different signs. We're going to subtract until we get the ones that are 7 apart. So my number is 15 and 8. I want positive 15 and negative 8 because I want positive 7. It's good to be positive these days. 6x squared plus 15x minus 8x minus 20 equals 0. Here we go. GCF, 3 and an x. So I need 2x plus 5. I need 2x plus 5. And I need a sign changer, that's for sure. So negative 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. 20 divided by 5 gives me 4, so that must be the GCF. 3x minus 4 equals 0. 2x plus 5 equals 0. Those are the two things we're after right now. Alright, that means we can finish this thing up and get some solutions. We're going to add 4. We're going to divide by 3. So 4/3 is the solution. We're going to subtract 5. So 2x equals negative 5 and divide by 2. So negative 5 halves. So again, all we're doing is factoring just like we did in the last chapter and then solving those little things. But before then, yeah, I'm trying to mess with you, right? We're going to subtract 4. Okay, so that's going to be negative 9. We're going to add 3a. We're going to add 3a, like terms here. Squeeze that line in here. So, negative 6. Change these to x's. Alright, so that's where we're at. And now we're going to multiply the whole way over. So negative 72 is the number. And hopefully, we had this one quite a bit in the last chapter. That's 12 and 6, because I want to be 6 apart. We want negative 12, positive 6. Why is that? Because I want this negative 6 in the middle. 8x squared minus 12x plus 6x minus 9 equals 0. GCF, 4 and an x. So 2x minus 3. I need 2x minus 3. And if that means we're going to keep the GCF, it's positive. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So that works. 4x plus 3, you're equal to 0. 2x minus 3, you're equal to 0 as well. The zero product property. Subtract the 3 and divide by 4. So negative 3/4. We're going to add 3 and divide by 2. So 3 over 2. Okay. So at any point, just pause, rewind, whatever you need. We got to get these factoring trinomials all straightened out again. Alright, just threw one here in the end. Hopefully this one isn't as bad. Again, I would look for a GCF, but there was nothing here today, right? So that's why I didn't even point it out. But you can look for it if it's there. So 50, we want that to add up to 27. So if you want to try it out, pause it, work ahead of me, and then play the video back to make sure you did okay. So 25 and 2, that'll make 27. Again, both the signs are positive, so plus plus. Drop them in there. 5x squared plus 25x plus 2x plus 10. Alright, so 5x is my GCF. I need x plus 5 in the end, so I need x plus 5 again. That means my GCF for the second half had to be 2, right? 2x divided by x gives me 2. 10 divided by 5 gives me 2. So 5x plus 2 equals 0, and x plus 5 equals 0. I really like these for the second one, because all we have to do is subtract the 5. So we get negative 5. In this one we have 2 steps. 5x equals negative 2 divided by 5. So you're in pretty good shape there. Negative 2/5 and negative 5. Okay, so that takes care of what we're doing here in the mid of this chapter. You can see we're going to use a lot of old information. And what I want you to be able to do is be able to apply this backwards. So if I give you this, we have an x-intercept at negative 1. That means x equals negative 1. What that means is x plus 1 had to be a factor. And if this is positive 3, x equals 3. To move this over, I'm going to subtract 3. So x minus 3 gives us the factor. So how does this work? So then we FOIL it back together, and that means this parabola in red here is actually made from x squared minus 3x plus 1x minus 3. We got like terms, so x squared minus 2x minus 3 is actually what we're looking at. So that's how we can work backwards, just to make sense of solutions and x-intercepts that we're making. If nothing else, it starts to look like a happy face. And who doesn't like happy faces? You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't put that in there. Oh well. Alright, so what do you already know? How do you factor? So you can make up an example, whatever you want to use there, or just explain how it's done. And then, what do we know? What's it mean to the graph? So solutions are also what on your graph? I don't know. No, that's not true. I do know. Just take some time, reflect, put something down there, and then you'll have it all straightened out for yourself as well. Alright, so speaking of pictures, if you want to add anything to this guy, put any questions in here, and it really does help spawn some conversation as needed. And quite honestly, I thought it was great. Try and stop me. Look at that turtle go.